All right, so we're going to kick off our Runeterra segment today with some Heimer Lux control. So Runeterra, for those not familiar with how deck building works in this game, champion cards are the most powerful types of cards you could generally have in your deck, and you're limited to playing up to 6 copies total of them. So generally speaking, decks will play 3 copies of each of their champions that they play. This deck that we're playing is a control deck, and Heimer is one of our control payoffs. And his ability says whenever you cast a spell while he's in play, he creates a fleeting turret, meaning you have to play at that turn in your hand for 0. And the type of turret he makes is dictated by how much the casting cost of the spell you play is. So this deck is looking to get Heimer into play and then cast spells with him out to generate value by making turrets to fill up the board. Our second champion also gets paid off by playing spells. So Lux here, she levels up when she's seen you cast 6 plus total mana worth of spells, and she counts that. It's additive. And when she levels up, she creates a final spark in your hand, which deals 4 damage to an enemy. And this spell has Overwhelm, which basically means the spell damage tramples over if you target it at a lower cost enemy. When champions level up in Runeterra, they get slightly more powerful. So you can see she turns from a 4/5 into a 5/6. And then the rest of this deck is various pieces of interaction, things like Mystic Shot to kill champions, Get Excited as removal, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches here with this. Like I said, since we're just switching over from Magic, I'll do a little bit extra in-depth explanation of how some of the core components of the game work here. Let's pick some cosmetics here. The Slaughter Docs of S tier music. One of the things that's really sweet about this game is that the game board that you pick to play on dictates what music you hear while you play on it. So I like the pirate board. It's got the best music, in my opinion. When champions level up, does damage fall off them? It does not, Ewok. So in this game, unlike Magic where the damage resets, there is damage that tracks over. So our opponent here, when you're playing this game, you see your opponent's champions when you're deciding mulligans. So they're playing Karma and Lux, so they're likely also a control deck, which I think means I'm going to keep this early threat, keep my Heimer as my payoff, and I'm going to mulligan these 2 spells that are mostly good against aggressive decks. Now, one of the key things about the resources and the turn structure in this game is the turns in this game essentially happen simultaneously, with the thing that differs each turn being who can currently attack. So you can see here, my opponent has what we call the attack token, so it's their turn to attack. So I can play out this 2-drop, but I don't get to attack this turn because they have the attack token. Another thing that's very unique in this game, coming from other games like Magic, and this is more comparable to Hearthstone, you gain a mana each turn in this game, but if you don't use some mana on a turn, you can bank it over across turns. So we have here spell mana that saves up across turns. I'm just gonna go ahead and attack and offer the trade here. Combat in this game is very similar to Magic in that you declare attackers, then they declare blockers. However, blocking is only 1-to-1. I think I'm gonna go ahead and play the other Mage Seeker out here. The way combat in this game works too is you can attack at any point during your turn. However, if you play things before you elect to attack, your opponent gets a chance to play things. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with... So they mostly tapped out here. I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and Thermogenic Beam to kill one of their things using my 1 mana that's banked up here. If I switch on the overlay, it should automatically switch on, but you might need to refresh your stream. Yeah, the Legends of Runeterra deck tracker is active, but you might need to refresh if you were watching when we were playing Magic. You'll be able to mouse over the cards and play with that. It's really good, dumbbells. So I'll attack with both of these. They can elect to block and trade if they'd like.
Insolent cur.
The eye over here tells me what happens with combat. So those trade, and then they take 3. And we pass back to them. every turn we gain a mana, and all of our mana replenishes. And another thing that I really enjoy about this game is there's more action than there is in the mid to late game compared to Magic, because each player draws a card every single turn, and the fact that you're drawing a card every turn tends to make it so the fact you're drawing a card every turn tends to make it so there's less top deck wars in this game. So when this dies, it summons a 3/4, but I think I want to kill it anyway, so I'm going to need to get through it at some point. I'm going to go ahead and Static Shock here. So this is basically Electrolytes. It does 1 and 1, and then it draws cards. They'll generate a 3/4 here. I think I'm just gonna take this. I think I'm just gonna block here, because again, damage stays on units across turns in this game, so that lets my Mystic Shot line up to kill this later.
Mages can't hide from me.
Triple double quad. Thank you for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So this says, grant me +1/+1 in Challenger once you cast a 6+ cost spell this game. So that's a little bit far away from that. What are their champions? They are playing Lux and Karma. So they're also a control build, but they're playing Karma instead of Heimer. So they're Ionia instead of whatever color Heimer is. I think I'm just passing here. I have 3 mana, but I can bank up to 3 spell mana here. Yeah, we can turn Symbolic Mode off. They're trying to decide if they want to trade this 3/1 for my 3/2. They're deciding that they do.
Insolent cur.
I think I'm actually going to go ahead and bounce this off of here, so that way they have 2 3/1s.
My cause.
Answers.
Generally speaking, you want to try and protect Heimer, so that way you can get more value out of him, but the fact that I have a second Heimer in hand that I have mana lined up to Mystic Shot this turn means I'm going to play him out a little bit aggressively here. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Happen. Yeah, this has been my go-to card game on mobile for a little bit now. Single combat. All right. Well, do you have a deny? So something that's an important distinction how this game works compared to those that have come from Magic is Heimer says it does a thing whenever we cast a spell, but a spell isn't considered cast in this game unless it resolves. So I'm trying to kill their thing before they can make these fight. If they have a deny here to counter my Mystic Shot, I won't get a turret, because my card isn't considered cast in Runeterra if it doesn't resolve. If they don't have a deny here or some kind of pump spell, we basically blow them out. Okay, they're bouncing my thing in response, sure. This still ends up working out pretty well for us. We basically get a 2-for-1. I do lose Heimer, but that's not or Heimer comes back to my hand, but that's not too big of a deal. I think I might actually just Thermogenic Beam here. This always uses up all of my mana. It could be right to hold on to this too in case they have a champion. Go either way on that.
Let the light guide you.
Play Lux out. She's got a barrier, which means she doesn't take damage this round until she takes damage for the first. So first time she takes damage this round, it just doesn't happen.
The light follows.
They also have a Lux. There's really no reason to attack it and bounce the barriers off, so I'll just pass here. Historic was fine today, Odds. Both the decks we played were, like, pretty reasonable. We played what I would consider to be reasonable games of Magic with both. I don't know, like, my opponent's playing Ionia, which means they have Deny in their deck and the bounce spell. So like trying to save Thermogenic Beam for a large target seems a little bit medium. Yeah, both Will and Deny blow out trying to cast a big beam, so like saving mana to cast a big beam also doesn't seem great.
Eminently logical.
I think playing Heimer out unprotected against my opponent's like 9 mana they had last turn was not great. The only reason I decided to play Lux out was because she comes with a barrier. Had I played Heimer out last turn, that would just happen. And like it happened anyways, so maybe it just doesn't matter. We're definitely pretty far behind at this point, though. They're gonna get to Final Spark our Lux here. And if they have anything else, they're just gonna pull further and further ahead.
Brighten up their day. Shine with me.
If I block here, I can cast Remembrance. You're supposed to take the hit. We get to bank 2 mana up to 3 this turn. And then next turn I can technically Heimer and Remembrance, right? So I'll have 9, 12 total. Flash of Brilliance is great. That's probably the best draw on our deck there. This creates a random 6+ cost spell and then refills our spell mana, so it's free, so it generates value with this. It's also burst speed, which means our opponent can't respond to it, so it'll be guaranteed to generate a turret. I believe that's correct, Jonas. So they're having her strike this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and play consecrated strike of my own. Like I said, they have Will and they have Deny here, so there's no guarantee that this just happens. But gotta take the play and hope for the best, I think. Yeah, they have a Deny.
Shoot! That was years in the making.
And then, like, yeah, we're basically just dead at this point. Our opponent's gonna generate another Final Spark here with this, which will kill our champion. Our board's just gonna be empty.
It's just an opportunity to shine even brighter.
She's so optimistic. So disgustingly optimistic. Yes, Tobias, but we're talking about how it works, how Lux works with a spell that's discounted. So if you cast a spell that originally cost 6, it's discounted to 4, it only counts as 4 for Lux. The mulligan Radiant Guardian and Mystic Shot here. I'm gonna mulligan everything except the Ranger here. Opponent's playing VI Dinger, so another different control deck than the last opponent. Opponent's username is Keep 6 Feet Apart. God bless.
Swift and silent as the breeze.
With Magic today, very reasonable. This makes us discard a card, but gets to deal 3 to anything.
Silence.
Let's kill their 4/3. Their command for Runeterra Deckless, yep.
Let none disturb my meditation.
Let's mess some folks up.
So Grizzled Ranger here has an ability called Scout, which Scout means if only scouts attack the first time you attack, you get a second attack step that round. So next turn we're going to deploy a second Grizzled Ranger and then attack for 6, and then potentially attack again. Yeah, when we find Heimer, these Flash of Brilliance are going to be real good.
Slow down, will you?
Slow down, will ya? Yeah, maybe it's better to attack and get Radiant Guardian down. I don't know. Like they're another Will of Iona deck, so like, or another Will deck, so like, getting this down and then getting it bounced is something that's going to frequently happen to you. So, our opponent DC'd here.
Rain from a cloudless sky.
So you can see here it gave us another attack token because we attacked with just things with Scout to start. Even if these trade here, we'll get a 3/4, we'll get to attack for 6 again. Got our Sharky over here too. When I compare the learning curve of this game to Magic, the core rules of this game, I think, are probably easier than Magic to pick up to start. However, if you have a Magic background, you need to unlearn some habits with regards of how the stack works. So some things will kind of feel unintuitive because they're different than Magic. I don't think they're necessarily different in a bad way, but they are different than how you would expect it to be coming from Magic. What's up? Can you take it upstairs to mommy and she'll help you out, bud? Love you. So this is elusive, so I can't block it. Elusive's kind of like flying. It can block non-elusives, but I need elusive to block it. I'm probably just gonna get excited to kill this. The question is, do I bin Radiant Guard or do I bin a Flash of Brilliance? I guess Static Shock's not doing a whole lot either. I think I want to keep the Flash of Brilliances because if I draw a Heimer at some point, these are gonna be absurd.
What seems to be the problem?
Virtue guides me.
They have a Heimer and we don't have an answer. Probably dead. Yeah, one of the big differences with how the stack in this game works, unlike in Magic where you get a round of priority after each thing individually resolves in the stack, in this game, once you click OK to let the stack happen, the whole stack happens. So you can't just like let the first 2 things happen and then you can't like let one thing happen, respond, let the next thing happen, etc. Once you've said okay, let things start happening, it all goes.
Hide from me.
Do I want to like turn this into a 5/5? I guess I could turn this into a 5/5 because this is gonna level this or turn this into a 4/3. Maybe that's fine. Still pretty far behind here with them having the Heimer unchecked. We've been playing, like, not quite mirrors, but opponents that have control decks similar to ours, and they keep getting their champions online before we do, which has been rough. So if my opponent elects to just attack before anything else happens, we won't get a chance to play our slow card, but if they choose to deploy any units or anything like that, we'll get a chance to play a slow card before they go to combat, which would be ideal for us. Hey, Huati, thank you for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Hold back the darkness! Hope burns on.
Yeah, Flash could maybe get us something useful here. Yeah, Flash is mostly a card that you're playing to make Heimer really good, right? The stack appearing on the Twitch overlay is really good. That's sweet. I didn't realize it did that. Yeah, all the software around Runeterra is pretty good. The only thing that's kind of lacking in Runeterra is the deck editor leaves a little bit to be desired, but not much you can do about that. If you want to see the current Runeterra deck as well as the other decks that we're going to be playing, !RT decks in chat, we'll get you that. Alright, Lucian and Darius, so not a control mirror this time. Looks like our opponent's playing an aggressive deck. Definitely mulliganing Unyielding Spirit. Flash of Brilliance doesn't start particularly good either. This is also pretty slow. I think I'm just mulliganing looking for cheap cards to play if they're an aggro deck or cheap removal. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Things like Mystic Shot and Get Excited can help keep us alive in the early game. I don't have a command offhand for the Runeterra patch notes, no. I'm just passing here. There's no real reason for me to play my Mystic Shot out right away. This mana will get banked into spell mana, which is nice. I'm gonna go ahead and Mystic Shot this now while they're tapped out, so that way they can't, like, play some kind of combat trick to save this next turn. Pretty far away from progress day mattering. I'm gonna go ahead and Get Excited and kill their 3/2 here. You can click on this to mute your opponent's emotes. I don't know. This is like the first time I played a card game where, like, the emotes didn't just strictly piss me off. A lot of them are really well done. Yeah, Runeterra submissions are available for tier 3 Stalrand. You can put them through the form on the site. Just put a deck code or a Mobalytics link. So this is cheaper the turn we draw it, but I'm kind of assuming they're gonna play something here. Flash the best draw on the deck? Yeah, probably close to it. See if they open on attacks here or not, or if they're just trying to deploy more to the board. So again, when my opponent starts their turn by attacking, they can't attack with any subsequent units they want to play out here. However, it does mean I don't get to play a blocker. So units can all attack the turn you play them in this game, but when you deploy units, you give your opponent a chance to make other plays and block you. So there's a give and take balance between whether or not you want to play your things to attack right away, or whether or not, if you're ahead on board, you want to use that board advantage to start. For the Fizz emote, sounds good, Mortal. That's for the biddies. We'll pick that up after this match. Welcome back, December.
Progress waits for no one.
Rally. They're giving themselves an extra combat step here. Yep.
Remember why we fight.
I think we're using Get Excited to kill this turn. I think I'm bidding Radiant Garden. Great. Nah, I probably want the lifesteal off of that, right? I think I'm bidding Lux here. As bad as that feels. So we'll kill this. We'll go to 8. We'll get a, get an elusive, Floor Begone.
Groundbreaking invention to date.
Truly groundbreaking invention. The artwork in this game is really well done. The League of Legends IP is so fantastic. And then the question becomes, do I want to Remembrance next turn and make a 6-drop turret? Probably. They probably lead on that. They could kill or interact with this in response and then deny me that, but this will still make a 5-drop, so that's nice. Ooh, sticking the Challenger one is great. Blue-black Pirates or Flash? You know, I'm not sure offhand, Juicy.
Exceptional advancement in ballistics.
There's a deck that they refer to as Tempo Endure in the game that is like an aristocrat-style aggressive deck, but I don't think it's really comparable to Pirates or Flash. I don't know that maybe there's some kind of aggressive deck playing Deny. You have 2 allies +3/+3. Yup. So that's a 10-6 with Overwhelm. Can't Unyielding Spirit. Probably don't want to play this. Just I think we're just playing this.
To me.
Unfortunately, don't have. Not very likely to hit the Alliance there. Yeah, I think we hope we just don't get burned out, which is unfortunately kind of likely because they're playing Noxious.
Defend our banner.
This has Overwhelms, we're gonna take 7 down to 1 here.
A fine spectrum of pyrotechnics. Behold, advancing collective knowledge.
Am I dead yet? Yeah, the animation of this game are top notch for sure.
What time is it?
That's a 5-4. Yep.
It's smaller than the diagram.
So we can get excited this and then smash them this turn. Welcome back to Big. And this doesn't have Overwhelm, it just gives its ally Overwhelm.
A sturdy construction. Yeah.
Great. Did you peel a burn spell? And because you get a draw step every single turn in this game,
I'll handle this myself.
well, poop. It's not a burn spell, but it is lethal, right? I guess this could maybe find something.
A fine spectrum of pyrotechnics.
I mean, the best draw in their deck was a burn spell to just kill us, so... yeah, rough. I'm starting to think our control deck might not be very good, chat. For people that aren't familiar with this stream, a lot of the decks that we play are decks that viewers send in. This is a Heimer Lux control deck that one of our viewers sent in. I guess I'm not really sure what we're doing that's meaningfully better than like the VI Heimer control deck. Sajani, Swain, Braum. Probably something a little bit more mid-rangey. I'm just gonna mulligan the Static Shock and keep the rest of these. We could potentially turn 3 Remembrance, but there might be upside to waiting to do it on turn 4, so that way we can have Mage Seeker down when we do it. It's probably what we want to have happen, because this gets bigger when we've cast a 6+ mana spell. Oh, I guess this is bigger regardless, right? Because he doesn't have to see us cast a 6+ mana spell. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass, actually. We can do this next turn and then play this the following turn. It doesn't need to see the spell be cast. So some cards in this game use the language they have to see something happen, which means they have to be in play. This just says if this thing's happened, he gets the bonus. So if this was in our deck or hand, it still gets the bonus once we cast the 6 mana spell. You have a bunch of these. When they survive damage, they get bigger. So I kind of assume they're playing the noxious spell that
Mages can't hide.
the noxious spell that damages one of their things to pump something else up. Yeah, the challenger one's a good roll here.
You can't outrun justice. You have no allies.
Yeah, transfusion, that's the one. I'm slowly learning which cards are in which colors. Knowing what their names are is probably the next step. Might give an ally 3 attack and overwhelm. Sure. Sure. Got a 2-ish for 1 there, since I spent 2 tricks to power this up. It did get bigger though as well. Get Excited's not a bad pickup. Well, let's kill either of these this turn, which is nice.
My turn.
I'm gonna put the 5-4 in front of the 2-3 and then Get Excited to kill this. Great, they're not attacking with that. The no attack there probably means they don't have a... Probably means they don't have any combat tricks here, which is nice. Ditch the Static Shock here. So next turn, I'm gonna have 6 mana. I could bank 3 up to 9. Doesn't really do anything for me though. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and play out the Grizzled Ranger.
Destruction feeds my fire.
There is a Kalista. There is a Kalista deck that's probably one of the considered the best decks in this format right now. Although they did also just have a balance patch yesterday, so I think that deck's probably still competitive. But the best deck in the format might probably up for debate now at this point. They Who Endure is very good, and they push that card up to 7 mana from 6. Yep. That's not a terrible pickup.
Take heart.
I'm gonna attack here because they block with Braum. I can beam him. First time I survived damage, so I'm gonna Mighty Pour. Oh, right. Made him better. If they have another elixir here, I get blown out, but I think that's worth it. They already played one of those. Quarter power! Thanks for the quarter of a year, Bender Butts.
We can do this.
Playing Lux out here with her barrier largely stonewalls their attacks from being reasonable this turn, which is nice.
Leave them nothing.
Shine with me.
So barrier prevents damage from happening to her the first time. Oh, Overwhelm is something. Lets him trample over, and when he hits our Nexus, we all take damage. Not great for us. I have 9 total mana here. Let's Remembrance. Because I have a barrier here, so if they try and kill her with damage, I can barrier her in response.
I've been hiding my light too long.
So when she levels up, she creates a Final Spark here. Final Spark will let us blast their Swain, which is great. Feels like we're pretty far ahead at this point. It's our first time really getting our champion online. Lux is super powerful when she gets going, and beaming champions into your thing there is one of my favorite animations.
This place reeks of foul magic.
This has Scout, so we have to go ahead and attack twice here with this.
Investigate.
Never back down from what you believe.
So this will capture this. Kill a unit with 3 power or less. Yep. You can see here, if you're wondering what's... Well, they've surrendered. If you're wondering what's happened, you can mouse over the eye to find out what's going to happen. Alright, we're on the scoreboard, chat. We did it. Oh wait. We had a donation to buy the Fizzy, right? Oh, I got a freebie too. She who wanders. I was just heard they buffed the patch, right? They added they cheered $5. I'm gonna buy one more emote too. This one's great. And then you get to configure your emoticons. Your emoticons per deck, which is great. Easy choice, yep. Right? Easy is probably my favorite emote of the game. It's well done. Yeah, the cosmetics surrounding the game are fantastic, for sure. They do a good job of encouraging you to want to monetize the extra details. Swain Vladimir. What's Vlad do? We've got 6+ allies, survive damage. When he attacks, each other attacking enemy deals 1 to it and 1 to the enemy nexus. Transfusion. For each other attacking ally, deal 1 and then gain regeneration. It's a similar deck to last game, but doesn't have the what's his name? Well, it's a dork that'll die to Static Shock eventually. It's gonna take us a few turns to get there, though.
Oh, I can't wait.
Think we just get excited and kill this. I'm gonna bin the Unyielding Spirit. We're pretty far off of that card being castable. Want to kill this now before they have mana up to protect it with things like Transfusion or Elixir. We don't have any plays for next turn depending on what we draw, but we can Static Shock the following turn, which is nice. Get to bank this 3 mana. The fact that you get to bank spell mana in Runeterra is so fantastic. It means the tempo loss that you frequently experience in games like Magic just doesn't exist. Because if you don't use all your mana early, you're not just out the mana.
Destruction feeds my fire.
So this deals 1 damage to everything at the start of the turn. I'm gonna go ahead and Static Shock these 2. This means we take a hit for 6 this turn, but next turn she'll kill herself, so that's fine.
They all scream.
You know, I think I'm actually just gonna play this out.
No place here.
She's gonna take a hit from the Ember Maiden next turn, but if I attack with this and they trade in combat, I'll get to play Radiant Guardian with lifelink out, which is pretty nice.
Root them out.
The rollover mana incentivizing a balancing between future spells and decks is a neat deck builder feature. Yeah, big agree. Perfect. This is like exactly what we wanted to have happen there. They lined that up. This says if an ally died this turn, she gets lifesteal and tough.
Master your deeds.
Pretty big booty.
For the fallen.
I really haven't played much Runeterra since the patch drop yesterday. So people ask me for my opinions on things, don't really have any at the moment. Just starting to explore stuff today.
I've dressed for the occasion in red.
This is a decent pickup. What do I want to play this turn? I could play Lux out because she has a barrier, and they don't have much other mana available. So like if I play Lux with her barrier out, she gets to block inside of combat pretty reasonably because this trigger only deals things to the Nexus, right? For each other attacking enemy, deal 1 to it and 1 to the enemy Nexus. I think I'm gonna play Lux out here.
Let the light guide you.
Come, love.
Means their attacks are a lot less good. The downside to playing Lux out here is I don't get to play Gotcha for cheap, but I think that's still correct.
Strike for justice.
Such a pretty thing.
Let me show you what I can do.
Blood isn't a toy, dear. People are.
Blood isn't a toy, dear. People are.
Strength through suffering.
I think we just do this. Like asking to get blown out by another transfusion though. If this thing levels up, he has regeneration. We're just gonna get blown out. Might be wrong. It might be right to just like let static resolve. Although I suppose if both of these resolve and they don't kill Lux, Lux is gonna level up. Yeah, it gives us a spark.
Victor.
Behold my glory.
Lot of level ups, chat. A lot of level ups.
Brighter than before.
I mean, they're down to 3 cards here. Like, we're final sparking this. Like, they just have Swain plus this.
What I can do.
I feel like we're not in an amazing spot, but we're also not just dead.
beacon through the dark.
Yeah, I think they might have missed the Lux level like I initially did. Braum Lux with Aura Power is your new favorite deck. I think Lux is one of my favorite champions. Her animation is great and her effect's just pretty powerful. She also is a champion that encourages you to leverage spell mana, which is one of the best things about the game. Alright, I think we're firmly on the YOLO this plan. If they have another way to deal 3 here, we get into trouble. But if they don't...
At any cost.
I think this happening probably locks it up.
Biggest tombstones.
This permanently has I cannot take damage or die. Need a way to like bounce it or something. She's gonna like sit here and pump out final sparks for us. Every time we cast a 6 mana spell, she generates a final spark.
We'll take what we want. The rest will burn.
They have no outs in their colors. You love to see it.
Just another winter.
They could go wide around this.
By the light.
It's a tall order, but not impossible. Having a bunch of X6 overwhelms is like.
Hello, my darling.
Yeah, they have Vlad still too. Do I just like gotcha plus get excited to kill this? I think so. And like if both of these resolve, we get another final spark. Yeah, this game should be done. It was close for a second there, but when we resolved the 8 mana defensive spell on Lux, the game pretty much ended.
Do your worst.
Never back down from what you believe.
So they'll overwhelm for 3 here. But this will go down to 2 life and we'll final spark to kill it. Lux doesn't take damage. Okay.
They cannot be broken.
Magic corrupts Demacia from within.
Your Demasia's nothing like what I know.
I love that the cards talk to each other. Really makes the game feel super alive. We have another remembrance here to let us just go ahead and generate another final spark this turn.
Flee now or burn.
We'll save Demacia from magic.
Demacia doesn't need saving.
Stand in judgment. Can't outrun justice.
The superior tactic is to never give up.
Never. See, chat, if we would have quit after we lost the first couple, we wouldn't have victories now. Lux understands. Superior tactic. Never give up. Yasuo and Katrina. Yasuo is a 4. It's a 4/4, huh? So this doesn't kill it. This kills it after we have Remembrance, though, right? I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan the gotcha. I think I'm gonna keep the rest of these. So it'll probably be a game where we play Remembrance turn 3. Thermogenic Beam is fantastic. The opponent's deck relies heavily on Yasuo, so this lets their stuns and recalls deal damage.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
Alright, well, I was gonna save mana for this, but the gotcha run and then playing a unit means I'm just gonna go ahead and do this while it's cheap. It's an Iona one. It's on my... It's linked in the deck queue. Runeterra decks have the same amount of organization you're used to here in Hoglandia. There is a deck queue with links in it.
Mages can't hide from me.
Silent as death.
I think I'm supposed to hold tight here. This is going to turn this into a 4/3, and I want to save my Thermo Beam for a Yasuo down the line. Means I have to take a hit here, but I think I'm fine with that. They are playing Ionia, so this could get denied, I suppose. They're supposed to be adding a tournament client sometime this year to this application, so if that's the case and that happens, we could consider running tournaments potentially. Depends on what interests from the subscribers are. I'll definitely have a question about Runeterra on my next sub-survey down the line.
You have no alibi.
So we'll see how that goes. This has quick attack, but notably quick attack only applies when you're attacking, so on defense here it does not work. Alright, so in response to this, I think I go ahead and just strike you with these two. I believe someone said earlier, and I guess I shouldn't take this without the first-hand source, but someone said earlier that they said it was coming in patch 1.7, and they just released patch 1.4. That's like relatively soon.
Think you're fast? Cute.
It's bigger every time they stun or recall something. It's in about 6 weeks. Yeah, someone else earlier said they do patches every 2 weeks. It's in line with what some other people have commented on. Stun the weakest enemy each round. I'm gonna go ahead and play... Actually, am I gonna play Lux out, or do I just Thermo Beam this? I think I just Thermo Beam this. And then next turn I open on attacks. Is that the appropriate use of the Fizz emote? When they do the sad emote, I do the Fizz emote? Is that how that works? Are we memeing correctly? Are there any children in the audience that can tell me if I've emoted correctly? We need to up our emote game.
Underestimate. I dare you.
So they only have one resource left here, so I think my play is Heimer into Thermo Beam their Fey Blade Twirler here.
Divert our power to main laser! A sturdy construction.
What's going on, Legit Advice? Yeah, I'm planning to have Runeterra be a regular part of my content schedule moving forward.
Leaf's only purpose.
I've enjoyed the game a lot. I'm gonna wait till they blink here, see if they try to stun anything.
One blade, one purpose.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump here with this. They could just pass here and waste my mana. Yeah, it was a risk that we had. Yeah, I've been turning off sub-only mode when we play Runeterra, because the audience has been a little bit more tame here.
My cause is you have no alibi.
Hey, good game, Prismo. I think I just let this happen. Like, this strikes it, but that only deals 2, or just deals 2, but that doesn't kill it.
If the journey doesn't get you, the road might.
The sun is shining. We should too.
Do I just try and kill their whole board here? How greedy is it to try and kill their whole board? If I just, like, get excited, kill these, then it, like, levels up Lux. Let's start with one of these, so this way if they want to respond to this, I can respond with the other one. This is gonna level this. Okay, I think I respond by doing this. So now this is going to level up, but that's fine because my Lux is gonna level up.
Rain here is opinionated.
And this is their second Yasuo, so like all their Yasuos are leveled now, but they only have one more in their deck to draw to. So that happens, Lux levels, and then her final spark will kill Yasuo here. I really love Lux as a card. I think she's one of my favorite champions in the game. Super powerful. And then like, we each have 2 cards in hand, but I have a Lux and they have a 3-2 and I have a 3-1.
By the light!
Clear my name.
I'm also biased in her being my favorite card because she has one of my favorite animations in the game. Charging the laser, chat. Charging the laser. Another dinger's not bad.
Oh, I can't wait.
Order, entropy, a never-ending cycle.
Oh, entropy.
Rewards its faithful.
We'll save Demacia from
I
magic.
think
Demacia doesn't need saving.
I play the Mage Seeker here so that way I can open on attacks next turn.
Unforeseen outcome.
No real shakeups in Historic.
This is my choice. Never back down from what you believe. Look what you...
Historic was fine though. There's still a lot of Reclamation. We actually didn't play against much Teferi today, mostly Reclamation decks.
We'll save Demacia from magic.
Demacia doesn't need saving.
Well, you know what? I probably should have... killed the 3-2 as opposed to the 2-3 because the 3-2s trade with my Mage Seekers, huh? If we draw another spell here, we can potentially get a final spark. I mean, that kind of counts.
Can't outrun
We'll hook
justice.
this. They'll take 3 here.
True power requires restraint.
Want them to attack before they know I'm doing this. I assume this is going to prompt a concession. Charging my laser. Yeah, we put the Yasuo deck on stream. While they have some neat lines in them, the deck's power level is like a night and day different when they have their namesake in play and when they don't. All of their cards that just stun random things are just like pretty mediocre on average when they don't have Yasuo out. Opponent's playing Yasuo again. Alright, I think I'm just full mulliganing, looking for answers to Yasuo. Is my plan here. Like I said, if we can keep him off the table, we end up in a good spot. And this will be a turn 3 remembrance game most likely, depending on if they give us something to get excited about. So if you bank your spell mana the first 2 turns, you can play this on 3. Do I just Thermo Beam that? Although Thermo Beams are answer to Yasuo, right? So maybe not. I think it's important to kill this while they're mostly tapped out. There's been Unyielding Spirit for now, I think. Unyielding Spirit's pretty hard card to slip in with it being fast now instead of burst. I'm just passing here.
Control 1, Control 2, Control 3.
Reduce the cost, most expensive unit in your hand by 1. It's a neat card. I don't think I've seen that one before. Hey, what's going on, Jin? Yeah, I think my plan moving forward is to do a couple of Magic decks in the morning and then 1 to 2 Runeterra decks in the afternoon. Get a little bit of both types of content every day. Need to talk to Christy and figure out exactly what my schedule is going to look like as we move into the summer post-baby. That's just rude. I think I'm playing a Thermo Beam on one of these. Just like get our 1-for-1 and not take a hit from it. Yeah, they adjusted how shillings work, so, so tier 3 subs are the only ones that get 2x. Yes, my viewer count while streaming Runeterra tends to be much lower than when streaming Magic.
Mages can't hide.
Like I've talked about a number of times before in the past, though, actual viewer count doesn't really matter so much as what my subs care about. So, rather than looking at specifically what my viewer count looks like on Runeterra, the thing that will decide if Runeterra is going to be a long-term part of my content is what the sub survey says next month. I pull my subs every so often, asking them how they feel about things. Hope you're on the deck here on your site and haven't seen it. Have you played any versions of Frostbite Aggro? Yeah, I believe we played a Frostbite deck. I think the person that submitted it technically calls it a mid-range deck, but yeah, if you look on my website, if you look on the YouTube page, there's videos of us playing Frostbite. beaming this. We might just be beaming this. Man, that's a big boy. Might be a good time to do another one instead of doing this large of a change. Well, I'm gonna lay it on straight Iowa Geek. Part of the reason I'm diversifying right now is because even though Magic is tenable and tolerable, Magic kind of sucks at the moment. Like, I'm gonna be able to slog through a couple of decks every day, but like, Wilderness Reclamation and Teferi Time Raveler, they just fucking suck. And the fact that Wizards of the Coast still has not banned them is just, it's offensive.
No more talk.
I don't think I could realistically slog through. I don't think I could realistically slog through an entire day of Magic every day. If I'm being honest. If Magic wasn't a source of income for me right now, I probably wouldn't be playing any Magic.
I see you.
To be completely blunt. I mean, it's not even just about having fun at my job or else it's like a normal job. It's more so like my content's just not good if I'm not enjoying it. Like, when I show up and phone in at work, like, my viewer count goes down because it's very apparent that, like, I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. Nobody really wants to sit and watch people be miserable. Well, that's not true. Some people want to sit and watch others be miserable, but, you know, that's the exception more than the rule on average, I think. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, Probs, there's a couple of things coming from Magic where the stack behaves a little bit differently in Runeterra that'll trip you up a little bit, but once you get used to it, it's really well done.
Crush them to dust.
Let's get excited. Binning the Grizzled Scout, I think. And then if they have some kind of pump spell here, I can Mystic Shot plus Static Shock. Mystic Shot plus Static Shock as well.
Denounce magic. You pay, I fight.
All right, let's mess some folks up.
The opponent's deck has a lot of top end in it.
My cause is right. You have no alibi.
A lot of beefy folks.
Anything for one coin.
Yeah, the fact they played a card that, like, gave them 3 decimates is so brutal. Like, am I supposed to play this and get my lifesteal down? I almost feel like I am. I think, there's a good chance I don't get to lifesteal with this if I don't play this turn. And, like, with this other decimate in hand, I think it's important that I do this as soon as possible. We could just be dead this turn. They're noxious, so, like, they could decimate us, plus, like, have their deal 3. Well, I could have silenced their stunner. That's a good thought. I think we're just dead here, right? I should have just beamed this last turn because they have the decimate in hand that we know about, so like they're gonna hit us even if I thermo beam this, they're gonna hit us for 3 and then kill us with this. lot worse than the typical Heimer Violence control deck that sees a little bit of play. Lux was super reasonable and powerful, but it's kind of underwhelming when he's not paired with the good Iona cards that like protect him, right? Like without having denies or the what's it called? The +3 toughness card is also an Iona card, right? The dragon, whatever. If I'm recalling. Was it the +3 defense, or yeah, Twin Disciples, not Dragon, Twin Disciples. Yeah, both Twin Disciples and Deny are like really good cards for keeping Heimer alive, and like Lux doesn't suffer from a lot of that same vulnerability that Heimer suffers from, because not only does she give herself a barrier when she comes into play, but she also is just beefier, right? Like her stat line is just better. Yeah, I felt like this was super lackluster. The games we won with this deck were definitely on the back of Lux. Lux continues to be a really sweet champion, but I haven't really felt like any of the Lux decks that we've played so far felt like they leveraged her, felt like they had a good secondary thing for her to be doing. We paired her with a couple of other second champions, and while she's been excellent every time, the other stuff that we tend to be doing with her keeps coming up a little bit short, it feels like. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll while I get things set up and flipped over, but don't go anywhere just yet because we've got one more deck before we're done today. We are going to wrap things up with some Twisted Fizz before I sign off. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.